ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the fun show here at Big TV.
You keep saying that every week. No.
Every week.
Every week, and this week happens to be January 5th, and this is our first show of the new year.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear
Michael.
Michael.
Happy birthday to you.
You're 39, is that what you told me?
Kelly told me I was
Excellent.
39.
Right, this is Michael's 39th birthday.
Yep, 39th birthday.
39th
Excellent.
birthday.
Actually, it's more like your 50th, 39th birthday or something.
Well, I wouldn't cut any straw on
In
that.
other words, what you're saying is cut it out.
Yeah, okay,
Getting a
all
little,
right.
So what's
little-
today's date?
little. I said that. It's
I don't think
January
you
5th.
did. I don't know you did. At this point, it's going to just be a running gag.
What's his name?
January 5th.
Excellent. What year?
It's 2015. And I haven't
Okay.
written a check yet this year, so I'm still going to write 2014
Oh, yes,
on
for the
it when
first
it comes
few,
around.
for sure.
Okay.
Anyway, sitting to my far right is our host, the birthday boy, Michael Sallen.
We had a piece of birthday cake before.
Did
We
it
did.
was
Very,
carrot cake.
very nice carrot cake,
Yep.
birthday
Yeah,
cake.
very nice.
And they decorated it with carrots, which
And
was
Doug,
very interesting.
Doug and his staff are going to come and eat some. Okay.
We hope. And
That's your
Bob
job.
Can I have a piece?
and sitting between us is
Can I have two pieces?
our
Okay.
Wherever the camera is.
representative, our diversity member here,
I'm just here to mix things up. I'm the
Gender,
Vanna White of the
gender.
show.
Kiera Miner.
Here.
And I'm Arch O'Riley, and I'm still here in another year.
And you're doing great, as usual.
How many years have you guys been doing this?
39. What else?
30?
Since he was born. It's
Since
really
you were born,
amazing.
since you're 39.
A long time, but that's the way it is on this show.
Now, the
Excellent.
sad news
Is
about the new year is that we lost a very
a giant.
significant character in our history.
We did.
And a very, very good friend of mine, Ed Brooke, our former senator, our former attorney general.
How did you get to know him?
Well,
a good
I helped
question.
run his campaign in 1966 when he ran for Senate.
Wow.
Good for you. God bless.
And
That's
he
good.
was the first African American ever elected to the United States Senate. We had this contretemps before because during Reconstruction there were several
Appointed.
black senators from the South, but they were appointed, they weren't elected.
Got it.
I mean, they just elected a black senator from North Carolina this past election,
Yeah.
something that was unlikely to have happened in 1866.
Y'all
Yeah.
know that.
I'm so
y'all.
surprised it happened in
Okay.
2014.
Well, he's a conservative Republican, just
So he's just selling what needs to be sold.
to round
That's it.
to round things out.
Yep.
Also, in bad news, we lost two young up and coming
Mountain climbing.
U.S. ski team members who were killed in an avalanche in
Was it
Australia.
just them?
Austria, not Australia. Austria.
Austria. Was
Just-
it just the two of them, or were
Yes.
more people?
I think it was just the two of them.
Okay.
If I didn't read it all that much, but
It's too bad.
anyway, so that's enough bad news.
Yes. Can we move on from the depressing
from one
stuff?
stretch of point?
You know, the Brookline students are gonna do the musical Hairspray.
Hairspray.
Yeah.
Okay.
February the 4th. And then they're gonna do Shakespeare too this year. Love's Labor Lost. That's coming.
They don't do that often.
I know.
No.
That's okay. Got Mozart for their orchestra and Schubert at the Schubert, but works by no. That's another person. Okay.
Well, one story at a time, Mike.
Yeah,
One
all right,
story
go
at a
ahead.
time.
All right, what do you got to say?
What do we got?
They're doing Shakespeare with Mozart at the Schubert.
Schubert. There you
Schubert.
I
go.
think it's a little confused.
I thought so.
Showboat. That's
you know,
what was Schubert. Okay.
Showboat.
Yeah.
all these articles are like the second half
Wait a
of
minute.
them.
Why don't they
Are
do
you
Showboat?
reading?
Oh, you want me to do a joke?
Yeah, do a
Yeah.
joke.
All right.
Yeah.
All right,
Lighten
so-
the mood.
I'm going to lighten the mood, everybody. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Be warned.
Go ahead.
All right, everyone focus. A man rushed into a busy doctor's surgery and shouted, "Doctor, I think I'm shrinking." The doctor calmly responded, "Now settle down. You'll just have to be a little patient." Okay, that was my contribution to the show, everybody.
A little levity.
Levity is important,
A little levity.
and belly laughs are good too. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
When was the last time you had a good belly laugh?
Last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are rare, though.
Yeah. Well, that happens.
What were you laughing at?
Myself. I look in the mirror. You know,
How's it? You just
I said,
Yeah.
39, Lefty. Look at the way you look. Okay.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of
You
sad.
look old for 39.
Yeah, I don't know that you're pulling off 39 anymore. I'm
I
sorry.
had a cat that always said that to me too. Go ahead.
A cat?
A cat?
The cat.
You'd wake up in the morning and the cat would go,
Up on
We're
my-
not
on-
so sure
sitting
about
up
this.
here and looking at my nose and telling me, "Get yourself out of bed, you old."
I'm just going to wait here and see if you can get up.
Yeah.
Now with a cat on your
She
chest, that's
jumped.
not as easy.
No, it is. It is. She wasn't bad. She was good. She jumped.
Okay.
Yeah.
When was your last belly laugh?
Not within memory.
Not. It's hard to get a real
Yes,
laugh out of
that's
it.
my point. That's why it was such a
Well,
unique.
well, if he tells it, he has a real belly laugh.
I don't think that's a compliment, but that's all right.
We'll just leave it
We'll
alone.
let it go.
Okay.
It reminds me of this ancient Assyrian king. And the country had been having great troubles and wars and famines and stuff, and he was running out of money. And his last great valuable possession was the queen of the Euphrates.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, Star of the Euphrates,
Okay.
which was a huge diamond, the largest diamond known in the world at that time. And he finally broke down, and he had to come to the conclusion that he'd have to pawn the Star of the Euphrates to bail out his government. So he went to our famous old Croesus, the pawnbroker, and he said to him, "What do you give me for the star?" And the Croesus says, "I give you 10,000 talents for it." He says, 10,000 talents? I paid 1,000,000 talents for it. He said, 10,000. He says, "Do you know who I am?" He said, "Look, buddy, when you want to pawn a star, it makes no difference who you are."
Okay.
You did that much better than I did mine. Because I just read mine and you just.
Later on, I'll get to
Thespian
mine.
did.
Okay. Okay.
It's your turn.
No,
I'm a quick study.
Are you
No,
gonna
we
wait?
got
Oh,
to.
you're going to mix it up?
He's going to put it in later.
We got
Okay.
to use it later. All
Now
right.
that we've gotten you to laugh, I have a thing here that I really can't get a laugh out of.
Yeah.
That came out of the paper. Apparently, there's 72 teachers in Boston who are being paid their full salary, and they don't have any classrooms.
They're going to be co-teachers.
Well, at least if they were co-teachers, they'd be doing something. Apparently, at the moment, they're doing nothing. They're sitting around waiting to be assigned something.
Well, it is holiday vacation.
Play gin rummy is not as
In a year, it theoretically will cost $6 million.
Yeah.
Do you know what the school system could actually do for kids with
For
$6
$6
million
million.
put in the right place?
That's the key term, in the right place.
In the right place.
Yeah.
Well, we should ask Mayor Walsh about this stuff, because he just gave the teachers in Boston a pay raise, for 40 minutes more.
So maybe it's more than $6 million.
Wait
hey?
a minute. They're going to have a longer school day, 40 minutes
Thank
longer.
goodness.
And they're going to
Keep
get
those hoodlums off the street.
$4,500.
Does this mean that these guys get to not teach for 40 minutes longer every day? This is sort of like
not-
paying farmers not to grow wheat and corn. and
Well, they're
stuff.
going to do all kinds of things in that 40 minutes every day. I don't know how much and how long it's going to work. There's a nice picture of our boss in the tab.
And how do we pronounce her last name?
Bisbee.
Bisbee. The
Yes.
good old tab did not fail us
The tab
again
gave her
as
an extra letter.
They adjusted Miss Bisbee's name, but this is a lovely picture of her.
And this is
So you have to zoom
important to
in.
Kira, because last summer when they wrote an article about us, they also couldn't spell Kira's name.
Exactly. So this is what she looks like.
Kira takes it.
I take it
offense.
personally. Every time you take pride in something like that.
Right.
You get excited.
The pictures were good.
And our pictures were fabulous. But when you see your name spelled wrong, how can you forward that to your family? I'd be like, hey, look what I accomplished. First thing is they spelled your name wrong. So then
I'm such a
what's the
bad
point?
speller, I hardly notice.
They had this great.
You would notice if they spelled your name wrong.
They had this great story in the New York Times about this former Senator John Enright.
Yes,
I don't know if you remember him from
I remember
Florida.
the name. Yes.
and he properly sought lobbying work for a former aide, actually his number one office aide,
Okay.
whose name was Douglas Hampton. But Douglas Hampton, turns out his wife was having an affair with Senator Enright. And
Okay.
Excellent.
the
Juicy
jobs
story.
and who did it and the FBI and all. So Senator Enright did the right thing. He resigned from his job.
I remember this.
Yeah.
This was a while ago, though, wasn't it?
Sounds a good deal like Alexander Hamilton.
Yes. Maybe. I don't know.
That would have been a really, really long time ago.
But
I'm just trying to point out that these things are not new.
No.
okay.
Not
And
new at all.
Ebola isn't either, but it's
Ebola-
it's coming back again.
That's interesting. I have never read anything that tells me how long Ebola's been around.
About a year and a half, 2 years.
No, it's
It's
been around
not brand
longer.
new.
I'm talking the latest.
Yes,
the
I know,
latest
but,
flare-up
but how long has the Ebola virus been
been
around?
in
I
history,
wonder.
like how far back?
It's in this article. When
It is,
first
huh?
It
appeared.
said 7,800 deaths.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Look at the area where the bats live and the fruit.
It
bats.
seems that this outbreak started from people eating bats.
Yeah.
They didn't cook the bats all the way? I mean, shouldn't you cook that stuff? Didn't people learn anything from the AIDS
Bats
virus?
like fruit, though, wild fruit.
Okay.
What did you cook to avoid AIDS?
So an infected
I have nothing to
I want to know.
No.
I want to
an
know.
You're supposed
infected
to
bat
cook the monkey.
was eating the fruit.
Okay.
And dropping the fruit was sloppy.
Oh,
the bat.
okay.
And
So
then
they picked
some
up
animals
the fruit.
came by and ate the fruit.
Okay.
And then the natives killed the animals. And
I thought they were eating the
ergo,
bats.
So yeah, you just
Ebola. What?
Since
So
these
they-
are the
they
people
weren't
who eat
eating
monkeys
bats?
and gorillas.
Well, the gorillas ate the leftovers on the fruit and stuff, and Anyways, that's their
That's
story
what it says
here.
in there.
Okay.
That's how
Well, it
Ebola
says-
got
Yeah.
started.
continued on page 2. So I'm still. You underlined almost every
Yeah,
single
because
section
it
of
goes
this.
on. There's no commercials. On and on and on for 5 pages.
This is well. Then how come you don't remember when it first came?
Well, I can't remember everything.
Well, you know what else do you have
I'm
to do with
old.
your
I'm
time?
39. What do you want?
Study this.
Do you remember when you used to buy used textbooks in order to save money?
Yes.
And you'd open them up and everything was highlighted
hated
or
that.
underlined or
Yes.
something. And it was like, if you're going to underline everything, what's the point?
Yes.
You know?
I agree.
Just read it.
Yep.
Now, what about that home?
I used to buy the book, read it, and resell it before some of my classmates had bought it.
Wow.
I'd sell it
Smarty.
to people who were in my same class. I never reread a book in my entire school career.
Impressive.
Well, he remembered everything. He had a photographic memory.
Must be
I
nice to
remembered
have
enough. I remembered enough.
enough to pass.
Enough.
What did I
Yes.
see about homeschooling?
Homeschooling.
Oh, I have that article
coming
here.
back again.
Talking about school books, huh?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh,
they-
you brought it
Homeschooling.
up.
Do they
I
use
didn't.
textbooks?
Well, you brought it up. Oh, here it is.
Textbooks,
It's growing more popular, says the article.
No, you. I wanted
But
you.
okay,
Yeah.
all right.
It's growing more
popular, but is less regulated by the states,
The kids.
which means that how is that effective?
So they asked these people, women who are staying at home, husbands are working, why are you doing this? And this one woman, a mother, said, my kids were being bullied in school.
Aww.
And she got fed up with it. She had talked to the principal and the teachers. And nothing was done, so she hauled them out. And she said, I'll teach them at home, and they'll be safe, and they'll be happier.
Were you ever bullied in school?
Yes.
Yes.
You were?
Yes.
Who wasn't?
Really? I wasn't.
I was bullied by a
You were
ki-
just
I-
oblivious to the
I was
bullying.
bullied by a kid, and we had a big fight in the schoolyard,
Well,
Oh,
and I got into trouble.
a
Yeah.
fight is not bullying. For
Well, I
heaven's
mean,
sake.
I got
started-
tired of him playing this
Exactly.
game.
Exactly. And then
And
you
I said, I punched him in the nose, and he
Good
didn't
for
like it.
you.
Well, I'll tell you, if I can be oblivious to it, I'm not being bullied.
I don't know.
Oh, you're oblivious.
I
Okay.
think there's
Well, she says I'm oblivious.
I only because
he was
who
bigger
hasn't
than
been
the
bullied?
little guy who was bullying him. Sure.
Everybody's been bullied by somebody in some way at some point.
I never saw any
You were
bullying in my
impervious
school
to bullying.
career.
Well, it must be. Maybe that explains a lot. You need a
See?
little
What
humility
you-
with
what
some
you-
bullying.
What you're saying is it's a bad thing.
Have you ever seen a
If we
student
get away with bullying, it'd be a
bullying?
bad thing.
Yes.
Well,
Were
I
you the
did.
bully?
Okay.
Huh?
Were you the bully?
No, no.
A famous
Me-
explorer showed
Promise?
up at,
Hey,
at
when I was a
Governor
freshman in
Patrick's
high
office,
school, I weighed
okay?
102 pounds.
Wow. Okay.
What's the chances I was the bully?
Okay,
Who
fine.
was a bully? A
Fine.
famous Viking explorer
Oh, the joke.
showed up at Governor Patrick's office, found his name missing from the state register. He couldn't vote. So he got back into his rowboat and he rowed back to Zimbabwe, which was they hadn't discovered yet, of course, but that was.
He's killing
Who
this
apologized?
show.
And he apologized profusely, saying, "I must have taken leave off my senses."
Leaf off his senses.
Okay.
I can leaf off my senses.
Okay.
I am sorry, I have taken leaf off my senses.
Yes,
I gotta
you
give
have.
credit for that gag to our director. Okay.
On things.
Arch.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh,
I have good news for you.
And bad news.
It is now time
it's all a matter of
for
perspective.
the big TV Unrehearsed Thespian Society's presentation for this show from deep in the vault.
Wait a minute, you didn't say anything about resolutions afterwards. New
Resolution.
Year's resolutions.
I have kept my last New Year's resolution faithfully for the last 5 years.
Right.
That is, don't make New Year's resolutions.
Very
Perfect.
good. Okay, all right.
And
Let's
this-
get back.
I found that's one I can keep. In any case,
05.
the show from 2005,
05. Art 5. Okay.
it's a different year, is it?
Okay.
All right, anyway, onward.
It theoretically
We're gonna
was
run out of time here.
It was entitled Open Air, and we're not going to update this one for you folks, so cast your minds back one decade to 2005
Five.
and relive the world of Massachusetts then. Action.
If you were born.
No programs for the last 2 weeks.
Installing new equipment?
For BATV's new studios.
You mean BAT? Oh, okay.
But we've still got Speakeasy, right, Doug? Or Ed?
Did the viewers forget us?
You mean BATV Nation?
Big? You mean big?
Our loyal fans.
I gotta let them
going well.
Washington, D.C. postage due.
And you paid it, of course.
From whom?
Someone who saw our show. Who
And
else?
she wrote to you?
Pray for help.
Signed.
Harriet.
Used to get hamburgers.
Who's
for
Harriet?
President Bush.
Okay.
A guy in the market. The fun show, huh?
Did he miss us?
Frankly, no.
On a scale of 1 to 10, rate us.
0, he replied.
Thanks much.
But you never know.
Yeah, he went to a nursing home to play.
They have pianos.
A resident asked if I'd had a bagel.
Public recognition.
Nurse said she always asks for them.
And you happen to have a couple of couples.
Yep,
couple,
and he
yeah.
broke them up for a tasting.
The nurse stopped handing out pills.
She ate a piece.
Told me to keep playing.
And naturally, you complied.
A woman complimented me.
For the music.
No, the bagels.
Anyway, the socks were sent packing.
And Theo is awaiting his fate, the guy in Chicago.
I would have commiserated.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from Brookline.
Think
And we
he-
said we weren't going to update this.
Yeah. Think he's seen us?
A painful ending.
But Brewski's coming back.
I hope it's safe.
With all the Pat's injuries,
Everybody wants a shot at the Super Bowl champs.
At least the Bruins have returned. They ought to leave, though.
under the salary cap, Mr. Jacobs, whoever Mr. Jacobs is.
The owner.
Of the Bruins.
Got it.
So the Pentagon staged that TV spot.
I like the president's role, though.
The soldiers all knew their lines.
A woman director rehearsed them.
Just like us.
We rehearsed this play, too.
Oh,
Really? I thought it was improvised. With
Today it is.
a script in hand.
that's Bill's show with the high school kids.
Doesn't Pat script his folk singers?
He just discusses the music.
He knows all about his guests.
Not like you.
Sometimes you even forget our names.
And mine, too.
Dementia, the onset.
Nah, you're just fooling.
Doesn't get easier.
Why don't you retire?
Yeah, and give us all a break.
Actually, I'm saving for a condo.
What else is there?
I could do a cooking show.
Didn't realize you could cook.
You didn't? Just take a look at his size.
Interview famous people eating.
We are famous.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, some put down.
You aren't.
Little testy there.
Just a friendly recollection.
I could have been somebody. I could have been a contender.
You
Like Senator Kennedy rescuing the fishermen.
And Jonathan Kozol back to sell his new old book.
Yeah, he'd like Cuba. Telling the middle class to help urban schools.
While New Orleans is prepping for the next Mardi Gras.
Well, Tom and Ed, that would be Doug and Ben,
Yeah.
send us to cover it.
I quit as director. We could bring couples bagels.
Gumbo and bagels.
Sounds different.
But when's it all gonna end?
All the natural disasters worldwide.
You mean apocalyptic stuff? Earthquake, hurricanes, mudslides?
Yeah, and the floods in our state.
Mitts declared an emergency.
And evacuations.
And winter's coming.
I could write a better script than this,
Well, at least I tried a little bit.
You always say that.
but it's not good enough.
We expect more from you, Mike.
And better.
Wait till next week.
Yeah. By then, Governor Dukakis could save Amtrak.
Our legislators could pass the track slots bill.
Those are slot machines.
Ah,
If we were only younger.
We could sing and dance there, too.
fantasy, but true.
Joe could. He's a real actor.
Acts pretty political to me.
Well, you know, Kyle could be a network anchor.
Traveling with Romney.
But Tom DeLay is raising lots of dough.
He is in jail, too. And Chris already did selling his family's stock.
Do they care about the fun show?
Our fans do.
You know, we'll be deluged with phone calls.
You're so positive.
The silence is deafening.
Eat another bagel.
Blackout.
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 Okay.
Boy,
There
we
we go.
really did a number on that play.
rewrote
Normally we
that
don't
play.
ad lib quite as
We wrote
much
that.
as
We
that.
wrote that.
But I
We
like
wrote-
that.
Yeah, that,
We should try that
I'm
more
so
often.
glad we agreed we weren't going to update it. We were going to do it straight.
We were going to
Yeah.
do it straight.
That's as
There's
straight
too
as
many
we can
moments.
do it, folks.
you have such a
No.
lousy script. What can you expect? All right, okay. I'm 39 now. I'll
I
get better.
know.
Don't
It made
worry.
sense
Okay.
at the time, you know.
Okay, all right. What about
most
this
things.
homeschooling? What do you think of that?
I think it's a great idea, but I definitely think it should be regulated.
Well,
I think there should be,
Unfortunately, a
testing.
high performance, a high percentage of the people who are doing this nationwide are extremist right-wing Christian conservatives who are doing it because they don't like the facts that are taught in school. They want to teach their own history where there was no slavery, there were no foreign
Gotcha.
people, you know, where all Democrats were bad.
That's not healthy.
Listen, you can learn a lot from reading the Bible. You know that.
As a historical
I
book.
mean, I learn all about weather all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's not the Bible, that's the Farmer's Almanac.
Oh,
How
yeah,
many times do I
okay,
have to tell you?
Yeah. Oh, now I know.
We took the
Excellent,
Bible
guys.
out of the bathroom, Michael. Don't get it confused.
my
Ben
goodness.
Franklin, he didn't
I
tell me
love
that. I was
Ben.
sitting in and having coffee with him. He never
Ben?
Wow, you met
Ben.
Ben, did
Well,
you?
Ben-
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben
a
wanted you
jovial
to
fellow.
read Poor Richard. That's all it was.
Yeah, I was
You and
raised.
Ben might have shared a birthday.
He was
Probably.
a competitor.
Pretty close.
Yeah,
The
He's
old
close.
farmer
Thanks.
and Poor Richard, they were competitors in the almanac biz.
So he said all those nasty things about people who are doing homeschooling.
Who
A
did?
lot of
I did.
You're he. Got it. Check.
in most states have. Wait a minute.
You're not he, and he's me.
It could have been a
Wait,
random he.
Most
Go ahead.
states have no rules about regulation of these folks who are teaching at home, teaching their kids at home. Pennsylvania used to have a lot, but they've.
So what did they do? They
Wait a
ended up
minute.
having
How
them
did they
take a
test this?
GED or something?
That's the point. One of the
Yeah.
big points why they don't want to. Why they want to go on doing the. They don't have to take any tests. They
Yeah.
don't have to take the MCAS or this new system that's coming up now.
So they just have to pass the GED and be
no,
done
the
with it?
parents decide and they print up their own diploma and that's it.
But who accepts it?
Colleges,
Really?
yes.
Not all colleges.
Colleges give them a. It
They must have to have
turns out
another
that they're
test.
weak in math and science. The
Clearly.
kids in this,
Because parents are weak
But
in
I
math and
had
science.
parents who would come to me and say to me,
I'd like to give them a history test myself.
Yeah.
no, they would
exactly.
say to me, we missed the
events.
art and the music and the phys ed stuff and,
Yeah.
and the
And the
teams that they could be
socialization.
on. Yeah, that's what they say. So I says, well, send them down after you have their lesson. I really would.
Yeah.
Years ago. When I had 2 or 3 of these parents who were doing homeschooling. I went to the houses to see what they were doing. I talked to them. I gave them some books and things.
Well,
we had
there were lots of incidences
Very hands-on.
where they allowed homeschooled kids to be on, like, the high school football team. And,
There
and
were
stuff like
some
that
years
on
ago.
things.
There were some
But-
problems, but it worked. It
Now-
worked out. It works out. It's another thing. Like charter schools are competitive. Charter schools are not like public schools. Charter schools, but they get a lot of public money. 3/4 of the money for each kid comes from the state. By the way, you know that. Okay, so I mean, there are fancy private schools where people can pay a lot of money and send their kids.
$4,000
They have
a
very
month.
small classes, and they have. But then comes the parochial schools. They're private too, and they don't have to do 185 days a year. They can do, if it snows, they don't have to make up the snow days.
Do private schools take MCAS?
It's optional.
Okay, so
If they don't, the college, the
who
university,
gives them the power to hand out diplomas?
the schools decide on it. These
No, I mean-
private schools.
Don't they have a national organization that
they're-
certifies
Well,
schools?
they have a national
gotta be.
organization of private schools. And they can
We're
go to
lacking a lot of information
They can
here.
go to the state and they can say, we covered all of the stuff that you want us to cover, and that's it. Who's to say they're not?
They'd still have to pass some sort of test.
No wonder the American population is getting stupider every year.
There's a number of reasons
Are you
for
talking about
that.
the MIT Professor Gruber now? You're bringing up him.
No, I'm talking about the fact that people
Yeah.
are getting rich these days with no apparent education at all, i.e. reality TV,
Yep.
right? Everybody's
Just one
talking
piece.
about Teresa Giudice as if she was some sort of
I have no
important
idea who
celebrity.
that is.
I don't know who she is.
She was the star of a program called Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Oh, yes, okay.
And
I never retained the
this
name.
morning
but-
at 3:00, she went into federal prison.
Yeah. And her
and
husband's going after she
Her
gets out.
husband's going after
'Cause they
her.
got 4 kids
And then
to
there's
take
a
care of.
show.
Okay.
Then there's a show on about 5 times a day on television called TMZ.
Oh, gotta love TMZ.
That does nothing but
What does it
Trash.
stand
pop
for?
culture. I have no idea.
I have no idea.
can't remember.
I know what it is.
It's a play on demilitarized zone, I think. But
Yes.
but it has this whole room full of quote reporters,
Yep.
which are the definition of paparazzi.
1 minute.
And from the top to the bottom of this entire thing, there's not one person on there who could pass a GED. They are the stupidest human beings who exist anywhere on the planet,
I think it's supposed to be
and
like
they're
that.
all getting big money.
That they are. And that's the news that a lot of people watch.
A lot, and then a lot of these colleges and foundations, private, we have to get up
Yes,
to,
we have to
are
buy
offering
Irene.
small money for kids to come up with ideas to start little businesses, whether they're in college or high school. And
And some of them get bloody rich.
Yeah.
yes, they do.
You know?
We gotta sing. We gotta sing or it's gonna be too late. We're gonna miss it.
Good night,
night,
Irene. Good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. We'll see you in our dreams. Happy birthday, Michael.
Happy birthday, Michael.
We'll see you next
Bye,
week.
Irene.
Good night,
This is a
Irene.
fun show on Big TV in Brookline.
Big.
Big. And
Very big.
And we'll be back
Giant.
next week.
Doug's Big TV.
Yes.
Doug's Big TV.
Yeah, he's in the